just blind Gwen, what does Doran do?
Yeah.
I don't think he has a pick. Like, this guy cannot go carry versus bin. I don't think that BLG are going to first round it, and I'm expecting that it'll get banned. But, like, I honestly just don't think Doran has an answer. He can't go carry versus carry. And if you're going to get an advantage on Gwen, you're going to be able to bring that to the team fights. That's why I think it is the best carry top in this meta by far. It's just about 5v5. Who cares about the 1v1?
So if you were coaching this draft right now, you would just slam the Gwen?
Yeah, I would just slam the Gwen. Make him show that he can beat it. You're already up 2-0. Bin has absolutely gapped him back-to-back games. Where is the confidence level at for Doran right now? I would say it's probably pretty low. If he blinds a Gwen, I don't think he's going to have the confidence to just like slam down a carry versus carry matchup against Bin to try to go toe-to-toe with the guy.
Well, I think that for Gen.G right now, they're wondering what they pair it with the Annie, the Wukong ban. With Vi up and available, I think was a really nice adaptation from BLG. Well, they just lock in their bot lane. The Zyrakan is available.
It's probably Zyrakan, and then it's just going to be Ahri on 3. Or it could be Lulu's up as well. He could go Aphelios.
I also wonder if they'll want to grab something like the Viego for Peanut, or maybe even something like, maybe not the Sejuani, but I think that they need to be concerned a little bit about how much Peanut's pool can be pinched in this situation. There are many supports that you can pair up alongside the Aphelios, but I guess it depends on what the priority is here, and that seems to be what they're discussing right now.
If you go Lulu, though, and you just ban supports, then you have 2v2 prio, like almost guaranteed.
Okay, so they actually decide to lock in the jungle.
Wow, this is really kind of out of left field.
Well, so this is the thing, right? Because I think that their evaluations were, so we either pick jungle now and then accept the fact that we'll find a more favorable support matchup later, or we lock in support now, get us a stronger 2v2, but then our jungle pool gets really pinched.
But was Kindred ever going to be banned?
Well, I don't think Kindred was ever going to be banned. But
so like, that's why I'm like, then why, right? You know, like, Kindred to me has not been strong in this event at all, has really been struggling. The teams at the highest level are just layering their CC so well on these engages on Kindred that it's not like they're overlapping Charm and the Vault Breaker and all these things, and you get that tiny little window where you can ult. Mostly we're just seeing Kindreds die without ulting, and it's not because of some bad misplay on their hands. The other teams are just layering their CC perfectly. So it's like, to me, if you're going to early pick Kindred, you could just late pick Kindred, get a better support matchup. I think it's a little bit weird, but we'll see if it works out.
And once again, remember, with BLG on the red side, it means they can save that 5th and final pick of the draft for Bin, for counter pick in top lane. Gen.G have learned the hard way in game number 2. You don't let Gwen through the draft. That's going to be banned out. Rakan banned away by the side of BLG.
I think BLG should ban Blitz here. Then it opens up the possibility of a Thresh or a Lulu. And I think it gives them a lot of safety. No, instead, okay, they'll ban the Lulu. So the thing is now, Gen.G can just continue to ban away tops, and now you're in this kind of weird, we're actually going to ban away the Braum. And so
yeah, I was going to say,
you look at something like Thresh, and then you sit there and go, okay, well, if you lock in Thresh, then the Blitzcrank can come out. But if you don't lock in the Thresh and you lock in another support, then the Thresh is going to come out as a response. And so Braum as a blind pick could have been a decent answer. And so instead of having to deal with that, they might actually just look to put Bin on a tank.
I mean, the Braum just absolutely destroyed T1 when they did this double marksman comp. Obviously, it was with Nautilus mid. There's some differences, but I do think it's so good against that. Very interesting that we are just going to see the Sion drop down here. I mean, it is about team fighting. I actually like that he's not playing the Jax. Yes, it did work in game number 1. To me, the 2 team fight carries that you can play top are Kennen and Gwen. They're both banned away, so I'd rather just see them play around 5v5.
So if you're Doran here, are you wiping the sweat off your forehead that you're not facing a carry Bin this time, that you're just being able to play meatball versus meatball and have a little bit of a tank battle?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm expecting that he'll probably just go towards something like the Ornn. It could be Gragas, could also be Gnar. I think one of those 3 are all acceptable. You know, the Ornn to me was like kind of the go-to because I just don't think he's having a good series. This is kind of like one of those low barrier to entry type champions where you're going to get something.
So personally, I don't love Blitz, but I do think that in comps that don't have the same dive threat, that it does make sense. Because one of the problems we see with Blitz is how it doesn't offer the same level of peel that many other supports do have, but finding opportunities, it's very prevalent. Into the Thresh matchup, it's clearly a very good one. When paired up alongside Jinx, you also have the combo with the chompers combined with the hook into the knockup, right? But I think that when you look at Gen.G's comp, the only real backline threat is the Ornn ultimate, and then maybe if Annie can find a flash, which means that Elk is probably feeling pretty safe, especially with Bin acting as a wall to protect him.
Yeah, I mean, I think in a lot of the fights, we might just see Annie use as the counter engage. You know, the Vi, the Ahri fly in, you just actually drop Tibbers on them to peel for your own AD. This is going to be a real feast or famine comp here for BLG. You know, when you look over at their comp, when you're looking at a Vi Blitz, if you're playing from ahead, it can feel oppressive. If you're playing from behind, it starts to feel very worthless. You lose control of vision. And when Blitz is spotted, he has such low value. But because of how many times I've seen Kindred get one-shot, I almost wonder, should you not just go shield bow into Black Cleaver and just not insta-die? Like, it is a really significant loss of damage, right? Because you can auto-Q auto very quickly. You can get that Kraken proc out pretty quick. PTA is not the choice here.
I love the speculation, but we both know what's going to happen.
He's going to build Kraken, but I think he's going to build Kraken, and then he's going to get one shot without being able to ult, right?
I think that's fair.
And it is one of those things where it's just interesting to talk about, right? It's like, is it less ideal? Yes, absolutely. Do you want to be hitting that front line with a Kraken instead of a shield bow? Yeah. But are you going to live if you go shield bow into Mercs and be able to get your ult off in every fight? I think also, yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Well, we've got the Sion split map invade. We've all seen it. I was most familiar with it in Europe. We saw it from BDS a bunch, but obviously it's been played all over the world. And it's very annoying to deal with. We've seen a bunch of different teams answer it in different ways. So I'm fascinated as to how Gen.G will deal with it. All of their vision is gone. BLG have committed 2 sweepers to clearing out absolutely all of the vision. And now they will begin their dismantling of the bot side jungle, but Doran has joined the fight.
Yeah, Gen.G have 4 bot, right? So they're actually going to look to scrap. We saw that T1 was willing to kind of scrap against these types of invades. This ward, though, is fantastic because that ward spots. So Elk and On, we're actually going to go to bot. Gen.G, we're going to try to do a late wraparound with 4 and get a 4v2. But this ward that we're seeing on our screen completely shut that down. So now they're going to actually have to try to start Krugs here.
He waited until Doran had already
he still got it. Peanut still got it.
But he's not going to get enough XP, is he?
No, he's not. I don't think.
Oh yeah, he will.
Okay,
He will.
He got it. That's actually so critical. He got it over the wall. So that lets him get level 2. So now they're going to be able to defend this. I don't think BLG can actually do the dive. We'll see if they agree or not. But Doran clearly thinking they can't. Yep. So as long as he gets level 2 there, this was actually really smart. I think from both sides, it was pretty well played.
Yeah.
If Peanut doesn't get that large Krug, though, he probably doesn't hit 2, and then I think BLG go for the dive. So I think appropriate responses on both sides. And it's kind of cool to see this evolution, right? Like where people have to go through these layers and layers of responses, and it becomes about the vision, it becomes about how clever you can be with it.
And it makes me wonder, like, that hook from On probably wasn't a practice tech, right?
No.
It was in the moment, he's sitting there being like, oh, their plan is to get level 2 off the Krugs. This is something I've actually seen before. Let's make this as difficult as possible. Hooks it over. Unfortunately for Jun, he fails the smite, but had he been able to secure it, his bot lane play could have been very different.
You know, it's so interesting, right? Because then you can take it one step forward, and I wonder if the correct play was actually to just leash it and just delay it, right? You know, not actually try to secure it yourselves over the wall and just leash and then move as 4 into the Krugs when your jungler's level 2. But these are these things that you can't practice, as you're saying. They are trying to get this push, though, but Gen.G bot lane gets level 2, so now it would become an incredibly risky dive. But like BLG are down for risk.
BLG is an incredibly risky team, my friends,
and now you don't even have to.
Wrapping around, yeah, they're just
free plate.
Getting the plate, no problem. On's going to keep on walking up just in case somebody takes a couple steps back. He could potentially grab the hook here. Shun's still over the wall.
Look at the response. They expected that Peanut would be counter-evading. So Yagao went up and actually checked their Raptors to see, okay, is Peanut taking your side of the map? So now because he's not, they know that Peanut probably came down and was looking to actually hover, was looking to actually go for that. So Shun can take bot side Crab, move up, potentially challenge top side Crab, or even just clear his top 3 camps, and he's still going to be ahead. It's 22 CS on the Vi to 12 on Peanut. He at least will get his 1 mark, but Shun's going to be able to take all his top side camps, and this is just really well thought out.
Well, Yagao does need to base, which may make it easier for Peanut to contest. He will secure his first
He has vision on him, though. It's that ward. If Peanut starts this and he gets queued, he's going to have to get out of there.
Smite's available for both. And he's going to be able to secure it. Jin doesn't want to take the gamble.
Yagao's going to come. They're going to try to kill him, though. Q flash right now.
Boom, there it is. They engage on Peanut. Oh, the follow from Yagao. The charm goes wide, and Peanut gets out of danger. Bottom lane 2v2. Delight down to about 300 HP.
I actually really like that series of play there from BLG. Yes, you can say, but it didn't work, right? But had they actually hit that charm, it is a first blood. So instead of actually challenging for the camp, they were kind of going for the bigger reward by not walking out and smiting. He's waiting for the Q flash. Exactly, the bigger fish. He's looking for the Peanut.
The bigger chicken. In
what?
The jungle. Yeah, he was taking the chicken.
He was trying to take the wolf camp, not the chicken camp.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
The lamb camp.
Wolf. I got that one.
see. There are no fish camps, Vedius.
Thanks, Vedius.
I'm sorry,
Nami
Peyz,
is
you're
the fish
right.
camp,
I
actually.
am a failure as a caster. I'm sorry. Okay, so
Vedius exposed. Absolute fraud.
a small goal advantage for BLG. We can see that advantage being built mainly in the bot side of the map with Elk, with about 350 gold.
Top gap.
And Doran, 150 gold up on Bin. Clearly getting the better of him.
Absolute domination.
A part of that was because Doran was able to get back to lane a little bit earlier than Bin was, but also in the early trades, Ornn is just, I mean, you guys have cast plenty of Ornn games before, you know what he's like.
He presses W and you walk away. Because you don't want to let him hit you with brittle.
Yeah, but Bin's not going to be too perturbed by that. He'll be down a little bit in CS, but top lane really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. It's all about bot presence. And Ornn and Jun grouping up now as they look to contest these bot side camps. Krugs are up. Jun gets information on him. Would be a little bit risky to go for it, and he's not going to. And once again, Chovy's just going to drop his ult.
This is pretty much the life of laning against Annie post 6.
Don't you love how not only does he do 80% of your health, he gets 37 gold for doing it? It just pops up. It's just like, really?
It's just
that too?
It's just one of those things where you just know it's coming. It's Yagao, and he's just like, all right, just get it over with.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Pops the corrupting pot. We'll get his health back slowly over time. Ahri in the early game can't really do much to tear through Tibbets. You just kind of have to wait it out, wave clear as much as you can.
I think the corrupting pot was actually a little bit of a tech here, because I don't actually think he did that in the previous game. I could be misremembering, but you know, in those previous games, it was happening to him over and over and over, so he was getting shoved back out of lane constantly. But maybe the corrupting pot a little bit of a tech, because if I recall correctly, could be wrong, I think he just had the refillable in that last game.
Now, BLG are seeing if they might be able to find something down here. They're waiting with Shun, but Peanut and Chovy also both nearby. Remember, Chovy does not have the ultimate available, but you can see the stun is prepped on the Annie. Yagao going to eat some honey fruits, regenerate his own health and mana back near full values. Now, Shun's going to start up the Drake, but it is Mountain Drake. It takes the longest to kill, and Bin is rotating down. Remember, Sion is very scary, specifically in these situations, because of the ulti's ability to get him into the fight in a very, very big way.
Exactly, and Chovy has no wall. You know, Bin rotates down, so it pretty much guarantees it. Bin will drop some farm, but honestly, he doesn't really care. He's going to lose a plate, unfortunately for him as well. But he can just TP back towards top, and clearly he is adjusting his playstyle to his champion, right? You know, if you're doing this on Gwen or Jax and you're giving up those plates, probably not going to be that happy. But when you're on Sion, honestly, you could be down 20 CS and you really don't care, as long as you're getting something for your team as a result of those deficits.
Peanut again, looking to contest here at the enemy Raptor camp.
Here.
It is marked. If he can get it, it's a nice little bit of advantage here for the Kindred. He has no ulti, only level 5.
Shun has no smite. That's why he actually leashed it. He wanted to try to back it up, but unfortunately it does mean, with Chovy moving over, Peanut will get the stack, and that is his second mark. He got one on his first scuttle, and now getting an easy Raptor camp there is going to feel really good.
Chovy with the engage with the Tibbers.
Plus 35.
Plus 35. Hey,
pops up.
That's 2 less than last time.
Ooh. He's actually not scaling.
Yeah, a little bit of a weaker Tibbers drop. Unlucky.
This is the real metagame. Track how much gold they make.
Looking for hook.
Oh, I could see he wanted to try to snatch him out of the air there. That's so hard to do, and it was like
it's so cool
2
when you
seconds
do,
too
though.
late. Yeah, if you can actually hit it, you're a god.
Yeah.
But
I reckon I could find someone on Reddit that's done it multiple times.
I mean, I'm sure there's probably like 19.
They've only tried 19,000 times as well,
Yeah.
and they nailed it twice. It was totally worth it, Vedius.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
It's like those guys shooting basketball shots from 2 miles away and it actually lands in the hoop.
It's just my favorite. It's just my favorite comment when people always go, "Well, no, it's easy."
Chovy.
Chovy walks into his own jungle only to find himself right in the path of the super mega death rocket, and Shun slamming him into the ground. It's first blood to BLG.
Peanut has been contesting every Raptors on the top side, but Shun has been doing the exact same thing on the bot. Chovy just wanted to get a bit of information to let his jungler know where the enemy jungler was, and unfortunately for him, it led him to his demise.
I mean, it was just really well played, because Ornn is actually in that banana brush, so he spots Chovy walking around, and that is why Shun could just stay in the pit. Bin here.
All right, the dive onto Bin here in the top lane. Peanut just casually walks on up, gets that last shot, and finally, a little bit of success here in the top side for Gen.G.
Yeah, pretty nice. They are able to donate the kill over to Peanut as well. It was not a mark, as he didn't want to just mark and then walk up there, as that's obviously can be a giveaway.
Yeah.
But yeah, just well played on both sides. The gold, again, dead even here. Yagao gonna face check.
Nicely done for Gen.G, but do they have enough damage to kill him before he gets away? No, not quite. Spirit Rush brings Yagao to the safety of his team, as Shun and Ornn are both waiting nearby.
Okay, support's getting active on the map. The Herald secured, of course, by Gen.G means that they wanted to swap lanes and start funneling those plates into Peyz. Doran's done a great job of securing a couple of early plates, so if they could get this whole tower into Peyz's pocket, he'd be a very happy AD carry. On, though, in a threatening position to land a hook here.
And this is kind of what we saw from BLG back in the first game when they were on the blue side. Get the Herald, rotate your carry up into the top side. On pulls the Herald underneath the turret range. They want to try to take it out, but they can't get it before the charge. Plates are melting away. Peyz wants to get this fourth one here. There's some extra money, but BLG cannot defend a whole lot more. It's Gen.G making sure they get what they came for, and now everybody else backing away.
And when we look at the bot side of the map, you'll notice as well that Doran is just doing a great job of keeping this pushed in so that Elk can't really trade plates. Chovy gonna sidestep that one. And overall, Gen.G pretty happy with that exchange, gotten themselves a small gold lead for now.
Yeah, absolutely. And trying to get some of that gold back in the pocket of Peyz, who had been kind of losing in that 2v2. He's still down about 300 gold, but you know, definitely a lot closer than it was after Elk and On had been putting on that pressure, and there have been BLG moving down and zoning Peyz and light off the turret early. Yeah,
it's something that we do sometimes see when you do make this swap happen. You can't funnel all of that gold into the AD carry directly. You have to use numbers to force the Herald down, which is what happened there, which meant that the gold got shared. The good news for Gen.G, as we were saying, is that Elk wasn't able to trade those plates back himself. We'll see if they can do that just now, though. With the next wave coming in and Doran looking to go back to base, he needs to be very careful of this presence on the bot side of the map.
Yeah, Elk did a good job there interrupting the recall from Doran. You can see how now it is not synced up with his own bottom lane coming back down here, so a little bit of resources going to be lost off of that swap thanks to Elk interrupting.
Yeah, they're actually going to lose plates topside, right? They're going to lose at least one full wave, if not two top. So yeah, one full wave there. They're going to lose 2 plates as well. So Doran was kind of messing around with it a little bit. You know, he got the first recall interrupted, and then it seemed like he was kind of staying around for a while, but you will get punished on the other side. It's not the Jinx that's going to get the plates, but again, you know, it was a slight advantage in that top lane for Doran, and it's now Bin who has actually pulled ahead in the gold.
19.6 to 19.4 thousand overall in terms of the gold count here. Very, very slight favor to the side of BLG. This early game being much more similar to game number 2 than it was to game number 1, where again, BLG just ran away with it in that first one. On looking for maybe a chance to find a pull here. Not gonna get anything.
Just the battle of vision right now around this dragon. Everyone is showing up. And I believe that we will experience a fight soon, Flowers. We know that both these teams want to secure this early objective. Peanut in an awkward spot, but he should be able to just jump over the wall.
Nice use of the Bellows Breath there to get through most of the charm. Doran still walks a couple of feet closer, just as the last little bits of that CC expire. BLG starting up the objective. Bin here on the front. Again, not afraid of getting pulled in. This is the tank. Oh, a beautiful pull! And the Kindred is down like so many times before. Shun's gonna be killed in retaliation. Chovy goes into the stasis trying to stay alive with a decimating smash. Slams him back into the earth. Now On and Bin are ready to keep on chasing as Doran barely survives with 100 HP. On brings him back. Peyz flashes away. And Elk says sayonara. A double kill back over to the AD carry. The Rockets keep flying. And BLG wins the first big fight of the third game.
On is going off on the Blitzcrank here, nailing the hooks, gets the Kindred, knocks him up, silences him. Peanut cannot get the ulti off. And again, BLG come to life in the team fights. And Elk gets paid. 3-0-2 now on the Jinx. He is way ahead.
Massive team fight win for BLG, and already in game 3, the momentum is riding high. Let's have a look back at this fight. It all starts with a great hook from On. Of course, a lot of damage comes down onto Bin initially. Keep your eyes on here. Is able to connect the hook.
Oh, back to live. Yagao getting dove. Doran and Peanut should be able to get this one done. Oh my goodness, never mind. Maybe we got ourselves a nice stasis. I believe both Gen.G players will get away. It was pretty close. I respect the attempt there from Yagao.
That is a sad one. Oh, okay.
Oh.
At least he got the ulti. But yeah, that's a rough one, right? Doran is actually dashing out, and Peanut, I think, just didn't even see the hook coming, right? Didn't realize. And I think, to be fair, On was also aiming for Doran. I don't think he was aiming for Peanut. It's just kind of the luck of the draw there, unfortunately. And Doran, who has not had a good series, is definitely going to catch some more heat for those types of things.
And the frustrating thing for Peanut in that situation as well is there may have been a window where you could actually pop the ultimate, but On throwing out his ultimate made it even harder for him to do that as well, right? So Great pick comes out from BLG. They will secure themselves the Herald as well. Gen.G not really in a position to contest after losing that mid-tier 1. And this game is very quickly snowballing out of control for BLG.
So the question immediately on my mind is, since we are now on match point for BLG, Gen.G cannot afford to have any more of these games snowball completely out of the point where they can have a say in the game. What do they need to do immediately to keep things close enough to still play from a somewhat neutral standpoint?
They've got to find really good engages here, I think, between Chovy and Doran. I think if you sit back and allow Ornn to dictate, he's just going to keep fishing for hooks, and I think he'll be fine here. There's going to be a Lantern available, but the problem is, Peanut, remember, no ult.
Going in after Peanut, does not land the charm. Means Peanut can try to get away here. Yagao finds Q1, no Q2. Oh, but here comes the Sion. Here comes the rocket. Neither one of them's even needed except to move Kindred closer to Yagao, who picks up the 6th kill of the game for BLG.
That's the punish from the cross-map ulti from earlier. Peanut had that little panic ult as he saw the Jinx rocket coming in, and now Ornn gonna catch Delight.
Okay, Delight under pressure as Elk and Ornn work together to take him down. Yagao with a TP in to try to make sure they've got the follow-up now at 2v2, breaking out as Doran looks to charge forward, but Elk hits him with the zap to slow him down. A TP summoned up to bring Chovy into the mix means BLG won't take the fight any further, but because of all the attention in topside, Shun and Ben can take out the turret in the bottom lane. 2-0 turret lead for BLG.
I mean, Gen.G just kind of getting made fun of across the map. Like, BLG, bear in mind, Yagao was bot lane, found Peanut, punishes him in a solo kill, then a small skirmishes happen top, which Yagao is also involved in, right? And then as Yagao and Bin kind of swap sides in the map, it forces Chovy to TP to top side, and immediately BLG disengage, meaning that BLG can then get another tower bot lane. They're just getting everything on the map, and Gen.G's just getting drawn into BLG's chaos.
I mean, BLG are playing it incredibly well, and Blitz via Ahri from ahead is so difficult to deal with. If you lose control of the vision, it can be really, really rough, and Peanut, getting punished for that greed, because he wanted to go for that mark on Gromp. He did get his 4th mark at the very least, so that is something working for him. But Peanut now in an awkward position. If they check that brush, they're going to find Kindred.
And there they go. But unfortunately for them, BLG are not in a spot to make anything out of finding the Kindred because Peyz and Delight are both there for the follow-up.
Worth noting, Ornn is also going for Everfrost, so he's not doing the traditional support items. Everfrost, Blitz, it has become relatively popular. We see it in Pro a decent amount, and it's going to be double Everfrost, so the lockdown is just going to be enormous from BLG. If they ever hit 1 CC, they're going to hit everything.
Yeah, lockdown, Everfrost, Blitzcrank, all super annoying. On though with a beautiful pull. Peanut forced to use the Lamb's Respite there. On with the flash to get himself out of the way of the counterattack, but Ben has blocked the exit. Peanut tries to get away. Yagao can't find the damage to kill him off, but now Delight's here on the front line, and Elk is excited yet again. Another beautiful pull from Ornn. Peyz under pressure from Ben as Peanut jumps right back into the fight. Yagao still back on the side. A triple kill back over to Elk. BLG are team fighting gods, and Gen.G have been excommunicated.
The bot lane of BLG is completely popping off. A quadra kill for Elk to follow up on his triple kill from earlier. BLG is just an unstoppable force here in Game 3.
An over 3,000 gold lead now for Elk as he found his moment. Ornn has been unreal on the Blitzcrank, hitting hook after hook after hook this game. Gen.G have no answer. And you said, Flowers, what does Gen.G have to do to stop the snowball? It's too late. The snowball is here, and it is rolling as this initial hook is going to be almost enough to burst down Peanut, but they do force out the ult.
And it makes you wonder why Gen.G is trying to force this. They see a low health Ornn, but like the TP flank that comes in from BLG, this Sion is in such a great position.
Beautiful.
Chovy's forced to use the stun very early, and look, there's a tower there, which means that even though Peanut gets away with his life, Elk is just completely uncontested on the backline. The amount of CC that Bin is landing, he basically kept Chovy, Peyz, and Peanut out of the fight by himself, which then gave Elk the space to just dominate.
I mean, Elk is just in a firing range there. He's free-firing the entire fight. BLG's coaching staff so pumped up, they can smell the 3-0. We saw Bin between games holding up the 3-0, calling for the sweep. as he did against Cloud9. He was right against them, and he's looking like he may very well be right against Gen.G.
I mean, you've got a carry mid laner, you've got a carry jungler on the side of Gen.G. Mid, jungle, and AD carry together didn't meet the same damage threshold as Elk's Jinx in that last fight. The setup between Ornn's pulls and Bin's teleport, giving him that ability to block the exit, was just beautiful. BLG are showing up in beautiful form here today, and Gen.G, I feel like they're just being suffocated by how well these fights are being played by BLG.
I mean, Peyz is just getting so pressured. Great hook.
Nice potential pick here. Shouldn't be able to get away. Uses the ulti to try to make some distance, but the pick is complete. Peyz gets the
Flip
kill.
Baron.
And that's something Gen.G really needed. Enemy jungler down for 30 seconds.
They gotta go Baron. 100% you flip Baron here. You have to. You just killed the enemy jungler. This is probably your only shot to come back in this game. They gotta force.
JDG in a 4 versus 5 were able to make a miraculous fight happen in this situation. Let's see if BLG can do the same.
BLG ready to try to stop the Gen.G 20-minute Baron attempt. Chovy trying to back away a little bit here.
Watch
you can see
Doran's
Delight.
turn.
Hex Flash not going to find a mark here as Gen.G have the Baron down to about half. Doran leads the charge. Chovy's exhausted. Yagao focused here with the very start. He's taken down. Peyz gets the kill. Doran kept alive. Super Mega Death Rocket won't get any kills thanks to the Lamb's Respite. And now Bin's going to be dropped next. They take down the Sion. Gen.G may not have got the objective, but they win the fight. And they're starting to claw their way back into the game.
That was a beautiful turn there from Doran. He pops the ulti and he flashes over the wall for the quicker redirect onto Elk. So Elk had no ability to actually react to that with the Gale Force. And Gen.G are going to TP back in. They're going to start up the Baron again.
Jun is here, but the health bars are full once more for the Gen.G solo
5v3.
laners. The Baron begins again.
Elk is low on resources, and BLG are down 2 men. The Baron is the target for the side of Gen.G, but Elk is legendary, and Delight is already down. On trying to be the front line here, maybe look for a pick for his AD carry. Elk doesn't have the damage to meaningfully hurt Doran any further here, but the important part is BLG 3v5, stop the Baron and get a 1-for-1.
So Jun sacrifices his life to try and get that execution onto Peanut. While he doesn't find the kill, he does what he needs to, and he forces Gen.G away from the Baron. It was he who initially got picked, put Gen.G in that position, and BLG did a great job of buying enough time to bail them out. But Gen.G showcasing that their fangs are still sharp, and they're not quite out of this game just yet.
Yeah, what a tense moment there. Gen.G saw their window, trying to force around the Baron. But it's just right back to the Baron, ever respawning, running out here as Peanut is back in base. So Gen.G clearly concerned about BLG now starting this up. They have no vision in the area. You know, if you look at the mini-map, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing for them across the river or even in the river. So Gen.G are now in such a difficult spot where you have to face check blind into a blitz.
Scary, scary stuff for Gen.G. They are 0-3 on Drakes as well, with the next one spawning in just over 90 seconds. The smallest individual mistake could effectively mean the end of the game. Here for the Korean representatives, the #1 seed from the LCK. On goes in, he tries to find the flash hook, and instead Peyz is unstoppable. The punish is ready to go from Gen.G. Yagao dashes forward, but Delight's gonna be the target here for BLG. They're still trying to outfight him, but the Lamb's Respite keeps everybody alive. Elk is untouched, trying to find a reset. Bin goes on a killing spree. Delight is down. Now it's Gen.G on the run. Chovy trying to get away, but Ben is right on top of him. Despite how good it looked, Gen.G lose 3, and BLG get another fight.
What a tense fight once again. Peyz will take damage.
Peyz trying to get away from this. There's such low health. The shutdown. Back and forth. The marksmen are all dead. Peanut grabs the kill. He's down to 150. Ben wants to get him, but the jump over the wall with a dance of arrows from Peanut. He's still alive for now. Let's see how much further he might be able to get away. Gets a heal. Gets over the wall. Ornn's looking for Peanut here. They want to get this enemy jungler. Ben coming around to stop him. There's the grab. Kaboom! Shut down over to Ornn.
Hook, line, and sinker for Ornn as he will get the execution onto Peanut. That's a 30-second death timer. But what a fight. It starts with Ornn looking for Peyz, who just so calmly sidesteps the hook. Chovy sees that window to punish, but things really get chaotic from here on out.
Again, it's just Elk that is really untouched. Delight finds the hook, but no one's in position to follow up. It's an instant cleanse, and as Elk steps forward, it gets so terrifying here for Gen.G. A well-timed ulti there. If that Charmin from Yagao had been a split second earlier, earlier, everyone on Gen.G is dead instantly, but Peanut does get the ulti off.
That flash in from Bin as well. The second that the Lamb's respite disappeared, he created a wall once again.
They're on Baron.
To zone Peyz away. The Baron begins. Peanut is alive. The hook.
The pull onto Doran. That would normally not be the right target, but BLG has so much damage, so much burst. They have a 3-item Jinx with a last whisper tacked on, and it means that Gen.G can only take a consolation prize in stopping the Dragon Soul as BLG secure a 25-minute Baron.
Yeah, they're going to deny the soul here. They will get an objective bounty. Yes, okay, so they will be able to secure this. But BLG are going to be pushing on top side. You're missing your top lane. You're for sure going to lose the tier 2 top. You're very likely going to lose an inhibitor as well. We'll see how far BLG goes.
There's no reason for BLG to slow down here. Yagao even has the TP, so he can push in mid. If they feel like they need to reset, he can. Do BLG want to push their advantage anymore? They have a wave coming in mid. Yeah, I like this from BLG. Just keep the pressure up. The resets are now coming through for Gen.G. They know they have 2 waves. Yagao's going to secure another tower mid.
Tier 3 mid collapsed. Top lane tier 3 is defended in time by the Gen.G players respawning, resetting, getting themselves back into position. But BLG plus 2,000 gold in the Red Bull Baron power play, plus 6,000 gold in the game as a whole. No, they didn't get the soul, but they're feeling great about the current state of game number 3.
What an absolute glow up for BLG. Their run throughout the LPL playoffs was unprecedented. For them to make it to the finals in the way that they did defied expectations, and coming into MSI they were considered the weakest of the Eastern teams. Many that the West wanted to face, one that they believed that they could beat, and at every turn BLG have continued to defy expectations. Now against the LCK's first seed, they are looking to clean sweep them with their incredible team fighting prowess.
I mean, it's just going to be so hard for Gen.G to be able to come back from this point. You know, you look at Doran. Doran is 2 levels down on the enemy ADC, who is also 2 items up on him. The Ornn is going to die instantly.
Shun, face checking. This might be the angle that Gen.G needs. A little bit more damage goes through and kills the enemy jungler. Doran firing the Ornn ulti from downtown. Not going to get a whole lot more out of that. Call the Forge God, not getting a knockup means they won't find any more kills, but at least they've stopped the BLG full team fighting machine for now.
That is great, but that's Tibbers, that's Ornn ult, that's Thresh ult, that's a lot of cooldowns used. So BLG are unthreatened. They're just going to walk mid, they're going to take the inhibitor, and will they go for more?
Peyz losing half HP to 2 auto attacks there from Elk. Gen.G taking a bit of damage on a couple of different players here as BLG retreat. Now they're stepping forward. Now they want to potentially find the engagement again. Ben goes in, finds the knock-up there with a Peanut. He drops the Lamb's Respite in time to stay alive. Chovy with the stasis, avoiding the pull. Doran here in the front line has been slain by the light, but now they might be able to get one back. Doran, one more auto attack, and he falls. Elk is still looking. He wants to find a little bit more damage, but he can't quite get there. Gen.G escape back into their own base. It's Doran and Ben. The tanks are traded, but it's BLG with the wave ready to go here in the top side. They're looking at a tier 3 turret again, this time in top lane.
Wow. Even at a numbers disadvantage, the positioning of Elk remains flawless. It is so difficult for Gen.G to get access onto that backline. And on the ever-looming threat of these hooks is something that Gen.G constantly have to respect. They will lose another tower. Their base is in tatters. And Gen.G's next hope is that maybe they can contest maybe a dragon, maybe a Baron, but their backs are completely against the wall. This is BLG's game to lose.
I mean, Gen.G just needs to buy so much time for their marksman. They do have 3 items on both their marksmen now, which is a good spot to be in. You can see the angle there from Bin. Looks for Delight, forces out the flash, lands the knockup. The charm is there, but again, Peanut pre-ults the charm, so it has been on point with his Kindred ults in this game, but it's Elk that's the problem, right? And that is the issue. You're not forcing sums from Elk. You're not being able to get there. Look at how calm he is, by the way. Just takes 1 step back on that Thresh hook, stays exactly out of range of it, not over-kiting back so that he can continue the chase after it misses. I mean, that is absolute confidence to be here on match point. You're not even phased. You're like, yep, no, this is the exact pixel I need to walk to. Not going to take a step further back.
Match point against one of the best teams in the tournament. BLG continually unafraid, continually stepping forward. 5,000 gold ahead, less than 1 minute until the Drake spawns again. Remember, they are still on soul point. Their opponents in Gen.G only having that single Cloud Drake they got as a consolation prize when BLG took the Baron previously. Top lane inhibitor is open. Mid lane inhibitor is down. bottom lane, tier 2 turret, the last structure left standing outside of the Gen.G base. That's where the pressure is now. That's where BLG's focusing. But back in the base, the Nexus turrets are having to absorb the super minions.
And so really all BLG has to do is wait for someone to answer. As soon as Doran shows up there, all right, you walk forward. If Gen.G tries to defend his fort, you're dead. You will get dove here. So it's easy to grab that tier 2. And now it's going to be about setting up for this dragon. BLG want to play for Soul, and they have denied all vision. If we can do a vision toggle here, there's nothing for Gen.G out on the map.
I mean, Peanut is in some serious danger. He will be able to get away to safety. But I think BLG can sacrifice the dragon. They don't have to if they would rather just use this time to set up vision around Baron, response in 45 seconds. But okay, they're going to take the easy objective, totally fine, secure themselves that soul. This does give a window for Gen.G to at least get some wards around the Baron area so they can look for a contest. All right, are they contesting now?
Drake secured. BLG ready to step up here in the mid lane and challenge them. Shun's coming around from the side. Peanut, 40% HP. Elk's rockets are so deadly. Gen.G have to try to get themselves back here. They do not want to be caught out. Shun wrapped around, but Gen.G was able to get away in time.
So BLG have kind of shepherded Gen.G into this top river, which then gives them access into the mid lane. They can convert this pressure into the bot lane tower and just completely disregard the Baron entirely. There's no way for Gen.G to actually start the Baron off because they're just going to lose the game.
Exactly. You force them to come answer bot, then BLG can either look for a dive, look for a play, or just move back out towards the Baron. Shun going a little bit too far forward there with the Q is going to be forced to flash, but now BLG will move up towards the Baron. They'll threaten that area. It's just really nice map movements. They're dictating the pace. They're dictating where Gen.G has to go.
On with a pull! Oh my god, he found Delight and instantly killed him. Gen.G have lost their support. Peanut loses a quarter of his health to a single rocket from Elk. BLG, this support over and over and over again this game. The Blitzcrank has paid dividends. It's a champion that is entirely useless or entirely game-breaking. It's all about the pilot. And Ornn is absolutely dominant.
This could be a game-ending fight here. Gen.G is going to try to face check in. I don't think they feel that they can give up the Baron, but Yagao has the perfect flank angle.
Doran gonna try to guard Peyz here. Keep your eyes on the Aphelios. They summon up the Ornn. They want to get the damage here, but Shun goes over the wall, tries to deal with Peyz. Now Chovy's under pressure. Can't get a kill on Elk. Shun is killed by Peanut. Elk under pressure there from the Tibbers. As Chovy finally dies, Elk gets excited from that. Yagao goes in and finds the charm on the enemy top laner, and Doran flashes back over the wall. Peanut's damage is not impactful. Bin can keep getting himself back as Gen.G lose their mid laner, but honestly not too bad. Delight is respawned.
Exactly, Delight is respawned and Doran can TP back, so Gen.G have pushed them off, and now they're going to try to take their opportunity to start this up. They don't want BLG to have a free base.
Shun is not alive, but BLG will not give this up without a fight.
BLG ready to challenge here on the Baron. They throw out the Everfrost Delight with a flash, but Elk's already got him killed. Doran's going to be taking the damage now. The Lamb's Respite barely keeping Peyz alive through the Super Mega Death Rocket. Doran steps under the chompers, and Elk's ready to free fire yet again. Gen.G lose their front line, and BLG are still chasing. Peanut with a flash away from the zap as Ornn and Yagao, both completely out of mana, chase after the Gen.G jungler, who can use the Dance of Arrows to get back over the wall. Meanwhile,
Chovy's by himself.
TP, Chovy coming in, but Shun marks him immediately. Just happens to be walking through the area. He goes in with the ulti. The follow-up from Yagao may have just been a mistake, but no, he barely escapes, and Elk is after Chovy. One more auto attack kills the Gen.G mid laner, and BLG still come out on top.
Regardless of the pressure that BLG is put under, they do not bend, they do not break, and they stand strong against the LCK first seed. BLG will secure the Baron, and once again, they're looking to clean sweep Gen.G.
Peyz played it out really well, trying to stay alive on that Baron turn here. BLG, though, so confident they're even going to wait for their fifth member to respawn. All five now have that Baron buff. They have the soul secured. BLG are playing incredibly well.
14, 1, and 8. 22 out of 24 kill participation for Elk. 11 out of 12. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's about a 92% kill participation here for this AD carry that is now full build, that is now absolutely impossible to be within range of without dying for Gen.G.
I mean, Elk has been incredible, but to me, Ornn has been the difference maker in this one. He has set up so many of the fights, finding these picks that are constantly putting Gen.G in these 4v5 situations where they have to problem solve to just even stay alive. And now Gen.G, again, backs against the walls here. One Nexus away from their tournament ending, they need a pick. They need to find some sort of a miracle play if they're to have any hope of coming back in this one against BLG.
BLG ready to end it here, ready to move on for a showdown against the other Korean representative here in the tournament. T1 waiting for whoever wins this series. And BLG are so close, they can taste it. Remember, the tier 3 turrets are already taken out in the other lanes. Now they're pressuring onto the tier 3 here in bottom. Tibbers has already been summoned up. The Moonlight Vigil misses. On is below half health, but it doesn't matter a whole lot. BLG are gonna hard force it. They go in with a buy ulti on to Peyz. They're gonna find a lot. They'll force out the Lamb's Respite as Doran takes all the damage, and On grabs the shutdown on Peyz. It's over, it's done. BLG's won the clean ace as the LPL #2 seed from 5th place in the regular season takes down the best team in Korea and earns their spot in the next round.
The LPL faithful erupt here in London. The crowd is going crazy, and you can see the BLG coaches rush to the stage, celebrating with their players. Absolute domination here from BLG today. What a performance against Korea's #1 team.
The underdog story continues for BLG. They fell short to JDG. They had to make the run through the lower bracket, but no one has stood in their way. London, it is BLG that will move forward. They will secure top 3 at MSI 2023.
And those underdogs are barking today. It was Bin's Gwen to enable the comeback victory in game #2. It was Onn's Blitzcrank finding pick after pick after pick after pick in game #3. It was Elk on the AD carry constantly with the confidence and the spacing and the mechanics to win these games. The whole team working together.